Fighting games are. Oh, this would be like the beginning. Fighting games weren't yet, and then they were.
Well, actually, some of that was probably cut off because my PC. So, yes.
Is what it is.
It is.
This podcast wasn't, and then it was. Much in the same way that fighting games weren't, and then they were.
Yeah.
I mean, Street Fighter 1 and Kung Fu both came before, but we don't talk about those.
I mean, Kung Fu we can talk about. Street Fighter 1 not so much.
Yeah. So
Kung Fu is the perfectly balanced game. There's only one character.
Yeah. You can't have any imbalance if you can only pick between Ryu and Ken.
Yeah.
Kung Fu, literally Kung Fu Man.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So we chose to play Champion Edition because Champion Edition's fucking great.
Yeah, because you like the colors better.
The colors are good. It's Street Fighter 2 vanilla, but with some very important balance changes.
Like, namely, Bison's freaking broken.
Yeah. Throws doing 30% damage instead of 60% was a pretty big change. Throws still do too much damage in Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, but they aren't just fucking instant kill moves anymore.
Yeah, that's where Guilty Gear got the idea from.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. No. Yeah, that's another franchise where the first one was like, well, there's some neat ideas here, but fuck.
No Faust, not the head bite.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's no Faust, not the head lick.
Yeah. Who would be the worst for the head bite? Sorry for going off topic immediately, but like...
Key.
Yeah, Key.
May doing... I could see May doing the head bite. Yeah, she's already kind of Blanca.
Yeah, I could see May doing the head bite. She had the Blanca ball even. Remember?
How would Potemkin do it? I don't think Potemkin could reach. He's got such a tiny head and a big torso.
He also has big arms.
Yeah.
He just lifts you over his head and eats you.
Oh, God. Like that old fucking Mortal Kombat 2 fatality where Melina just sucks you up like you're soup or something.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Goofy old fighting games, huh?
Yeah.
That's 3 franchises that have come a long way in the last 20 years. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear. So, there's a take I heard on Street Fighter 2 once, and I wanted to hear what you thought of it. The take was, in Street Fighter 2, there are so many little things that if they would have been transported to another game and put on another character, they would have been considered too OP. Throws in Street Fighter 2 are too OP. Walk speeds in Street Fighter 2 are too OP. Hadokens in Street Fighter 2 are too OP.
Well, I mean, are we talking about modern times or around that time?
Modern times.
Alright, finish the thought.
And the general gist of it was saying, like, because this was at such an in-advanced era, the game was instead built on every character being strong in that way. Because every character in Street Fighter 2 has an absurd walk speed. There are tons of damage through throws. And, like, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, the zoning and the throws, I can see. The walk speed, I don't know.
Walk speed's very important for footsies.
But yeah, no, I don't mean that. I mean, I don't see how everyone's walk speed is too fast in SF2.
Yeah, admittedly, I didn't see that too much either, though characters in Street Fighter 2 definitely have faster walk speeds than any other game.
I don't know, I guess that's just normal to me because I started with SF2. Vanilla, probably. Well, it was a Chinese ripoff that had like 4 characters, or maybe 5.
And 2 of them were Ryu and Ken.
Yes. But no, actually, I think Ken was a palette swap for Ryu.
Oh, nice. That the way he should have been at launch?
Yeah. I mean, That would be a funny thing for Capcom to do now if they release Street Fighter 6 and Ken is a palette swap of Ryu but still plays differently.
Wow. Which Street Fighter 2 was it? Which version of Street Fighter 2 was it that finally made Ken play differently? Was it Super?
I think it was Hyper Fighting, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember because they wound up making Ken different through his array of kicks, right? Wasn't that it?
Yeah, that and Fire Shoryuken.
Right, and yeah, Ryu got the half circle Hadoken.
Actually, he didn't. At least
Really?
not that I can tell. Because the half circle Hadoken was actually just a graphics bug.
Oh, but did they make it official in Turbo?
They might have made it official in Turbo or later. I'm not sure.
He's definitely got it as part of his kit in Alpha and CVS 2.
Yeah, he definitely has it in Alpha. So it might have been added in Alpha, but I'm not sure. Whatever.
Huh.
Yeah. The Denjin Hadoken was actually just a graphics bug where the normal Hadoken sprite got colored red.
Ah, right, and people really liked that because it looked like he was throwing fire at people.
Yeah.
We were easy to please back then, weren't we? This time before either of us were alive.
I mean, I can't actually comment on Street Fighter 2 because the earliest arcade records that I have heard, which were by my mom, were when arcades actually existed over here, and the last time that was around freaking Street Fighter 1. So she remembers Hagar. She remembers Hagar as a character. She remembers seeing Final Fight. We've reduced that, but that's about it. She may have seen Street Fighter 1, but not even that sure.
Oh, at the time, Final Fight was seen as a sequel to Street Fighter, so
Yeah.
works out. Oh, what was I going to say? Is this only the second game we've done on Fighting Games R that's older than both of us? Because I was probably born before KOF 98 came out, but this and Alpha are probably the only games we've done that are older than both of us, right?
When did Alpha come out?
Alpha 3 came out 95, I want to say.
Then yeah. Let's see. Did we do anything that's older? I don't think so.
No, not that I can think of.
Because I was like Guilty Gear XX, but then Guilty Gear XX came out in like 2003, the first version, for one,
Yeah.
and we didn't do it yet.
We either need to do Guilty Gear XX next for the next Fighting Games R, or we need to do KOF 14. I think either of those would be good ones.
Yeah.
Oh man, if we play Guilty Gear XX, I can play Robo Key. I love Robo Key. Anyways.
But whenever I get into KOF, I'm just like, man, I like this better than Street Fighter, and then I forget about liking it better than Street Fighter.
I love them all.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, right. So, this being the pre-Akuma years, who is your main in this game?
Nobody?
Nobody, really?
Yeah, I switch between playing Ryu, Chun, Bison, because he's broken in Champion Edition, but that's a Champion Edition exclusive. But yeah, it's mainly Ryu and Chun.
Alright. I had a hard time getting attached to someone too, oddly enough. This was back when Zangief's 360 circle input was impossible, you know?
I mean, that's most inputs in this game for some reason.
Yeah.
Even though it shouldn't be, because I don't remember it being this strict.
Yeah.
Like, it's either something to do with the port, or my inputs have gotten worse since I didn't even know how to do them, so...
Well, I don't know what it is with my end either, because I've got mine on Switch, and the Nintendo Switch is a handheld. Well, I keep pulling it out of the thing because I'm not going to play Street Fighter 2 on the big TV. But I put it in handheld, and it has these tiny, tiny, tiny little analog sticks, and I got these big fat thumbs. So I don't know if it's misinputs on my part or just the game being too ruthless.
Maybe both.
Probably both. You s-
I'm gonna assume the Switch's freaking analog sticks are smaller than the Vita's.
yeah, I think they're probably a little bit bigger. Did the Vita even have analog sticks? I thought it had
It
like the
had
little.
it had one. I think it had one or two. I don't quite remember, but I just remember holding it in my hand. It was being shown off in a freaking a shop, and had it in my hand, and I was like, "Who did they make these controls for?" Because the buttons were small for my hand, and I was like 12. I was actually probably like 15, but still, like, you know.
Yeah, I feel like with you picking John, I feel like and Bison, I feel like with these older games where the input windows were a lot tighter, you just wound up picking charge characters a lot because at least their motions were usually reliable.
And sometimes, yeah, I haven't been able to figure out whether getting freaking block stunned resets the charge or not in these games.
Oh yeah, that's been a problem. When I was playing Guile, I kept trying to immediately like I guess they call it reversal, but I guess I kept trying to reversal out of block stun with a sonic boom, and I'd always pop it too early, and Guile would just stand there, or maybe he'd do the fucking back fist.
I had. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't spend too much time with the game because playing against the AI is not fun. Like genuinely unfun in freaking early arcade Capcom games.
Oh yeah,
Because there are fighting
see,
games. There are fighting games where playing against the AI can freaking teach you something, or like it's just fun. Not in freaking arcade ports, apparently.
well, I mean, the nice thing about the arcade collection is that they let you change difficulty, but I didn't actually play after I changed the difficulty. I
I
just turned it down to difficulty 1. I was like, all right, I'll come back later. I didn't come back later.
I turned it down to difficulty one, and Guile was still freaking reading my inputs, like obviously reading my inputs.
See, Giles just going to no matter what be more of a pain in the ass than the others because he is the one who is directly cheating.
Well, I actually had less of a problem with Guile than I did with Blanca.
Really?
Yes, because Blanca also read my inputs, but Blanca was also always in the air. So I so I
Oh,
so I couldn't just do the same thing I did with Guile, where I just bait him out with a Shoryuken and then just actually Shoryuken his ass.
yeah.
Because with the Guile AI, at least I could figure out, oh, if I do like a freaking light Shoryuken near the middle of the screen where his flash kick won't hit me, then he'll do the flash kick and I can just counter. Not with Blanca.
No. Well, Blanca had such a limited move set in that game. He didn't have the up ball yet.
When did he get the up ball? Because that's not a move that I associate with him. I like he has it in 5, but that's about it.
He almost certainly has it in 4. But I want to say by the time of Turbo, like when they went around and tried to give everybody a new move, what they wound up giving him was the handstand roll. Which the handstand roll also is kind of an anti-air, but it's kind of not. That's kind of what part of what it is. I
Yeah.
want to say the up ball was there by Alpha, but I could be wrong. I personally had a problem with Ryu because Ryu in this game actually uses the most common Ryu strategy ever. Spam Hadoken fishing for the opponent to jump and then Shoryu him.
Yeah. But I had the same issue with Ken.
Oh,
But
oh god,
but
Ken is so bad in these classic Street Fighters about his Shoryus.
yeah, but aside from that, he would also always Tatsumaki whenever I least expected it. It was my fault, but it was still like I don't know. I feel like it would have been funny for a third eye, third set of eyes, or second, I guess. Look, I wear glasses. I have two of my own.
uh, remind, reminds me of when the Super Best Friends were playing God of War, and there was some big thing that they missed, and Wooly said, somehow 6 sets of eyes missed that. And Matt and Pat both go, where the fuck are the other 3 sets of eyes? Oh man. Every time Blanca is mentioned, it has to lead into SBF. Always. Don't shake hands with Blanca players. Don't touch them. Don't even look at them, as they say.
Yeah, but as I continuously kept switching characters throughout my my recent time with SF2 Champion Edition, and Blanca kept being the roadblock. I was like, I understand why Blanca was shit for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, Blanca is like, I don't know. Blanca rapidly switches between being one of the Street Fighter characters I most thoroughly enjoy and one of the Street Fighter characters I'm like, what the fuck is even the point of this character? I love him in Alpha, and I quite like him in 5, but fuck, I don't like him in 2. He's got the weirdest normals. The fucking weirdest normals. I can never figure them out in 2. And Doll seems there too, I guess.
Yeah, Dalsim is also featured in this game.
Doll seems in a weird spot where you look at him and you're like, oh, this would obviously be the most annoying character to play against, right? And then, like, he sucks real bad in 2. Like, he was worse and he was better in vanilla. He beat my ass quite heavily in vanilla. But in Champion Edition, Doll seems like super weak. You can just kick his ass. He doesn't stand up to aggressive play at all. Like, AI Dollseem's idea of countering aggressive play is dive kick, which most of the time just misses.
I mean, my answer as Dalsim to anything is dive kick, so I can sympathize. But then again, I don't know how to play Dalsim, so
I just play Dollseem as a zoner. Stretch leg, baby. I actually didn't play Bison in Champion Edition, believe it or not.
why not? He's stupid strong. He's the only one. He's the only one I could get a freaking flawless victory against Blanca with. I shit you not.
Ha! I don't know why I didn't play Bison. I think I just picked up Blanca and Guile, and I put in some time with them, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. I didn't even play Balrog, and Balrog's usually my boy.
Yeah.
Though not so much in this game. I'm not like in Street Fighter 2 and Alpha, Balrog's not really my guy. It's not until 4 that I start to really love it. It's not until CVS 2 that I start to really love Balrog. And even then, it's because Balrog's got weird shit tech on his dash. Oh, man. Okay. If there is one character that you think removing them from the cast would improve the game, who would it be?
T-Hawk.
Oh, no.
He's not even in the game, I don't think, but T-Hawk.
He's so bad, he ruins the games retroactively.
Yeah. I don't even know who's in freaking Champion Edition. Like, I believe the Shadowloo people just got added with that, didn't they?
Champion Edition was, they nerfed throws, they added those guys, and I think they may have given 1 or 2 new moves to some of the characters. But for the most part, it was just making the bosses playable. Which, of course, Sagat fucking...
Vega.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, God, the competitive community has rotted my brain. You said Vega, and I was like, who's Vega? Oh, Ninja.
A Claw.
Claw. Yes, Claw. Damn it. Like, it was just occurring to me the other day that I'm starting to refer to Balrog as Boxer mentally instead of Balrog.
Balroxer.
Admittedly, when I say Balrog, his face doesn't pop into my mind, but when I say Boxer, his face pops into my mind, so... Like, it immediately recalls the image of him, you know?
Yeah, the only one I'm doing that with is freaking... I sometimes call Bison Dictator.
Bison's kind of iconic with the Bison name, though, because you think of Raul Julia.
When I think of Bison, I think of freaking... bloody hell, there was this... like, Japanese horror thriller or something or other movie called Megalopolis Monogatari, I think, something like that.
Yeah?
Megalopolis, whatever. Yeah, Bison's design kind of came from that, more or less.
Huh, okay.
Because the main villain is this guy who looks like a Nazi. He may actually be Nazi, I don't know. I haven't actually watched the movie, I just remember the poster. and it's this it's this Nazi looking dude who also looks like a zombie, and he has a pentagram on his hand or like his glove, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so
I love.
yeah
I know it's a silly comic book trope, but I love Satanist Nazis. That's one of my favorite villain types. I don't know. There's just something I love about the wackiness of Himmler and his bullshit. You know,
yeah
very Wolfenstein. Now, I want to talk about the character designs for a little bit. What do you think is the
DJ.
weakest? What DJ?
Yeah, that always has to come up. It's Street Fighter 2 character designs. DJ has to be
Oh,
mentioned.
oh, this is before DJ, so I would say the worst one to bring up is Original Blanca.
True.
Ooh,
It's just slightly worse Balrog in chains.
yeah, yeah. Like Balrog, I think they kind of get away with it just on basis of like Balrog. It doesn't come off as if he's supposed to be a satire of all African Americans. It's specifically a satire of Mike Tyson. They can get
True,
away on
yeah.
that. Whereas Blanca, it's like, oh boy, what was the idea here? Blanca does still kind of walk away being the worst character design, like even with his current one, you know.
Yeah.
And I say this not being a big fan of Boxer's default design with the ripped blue sweats.
Yeah. I I actually agree on these a lot. I have never liked Balrog's default design.
Bison, I don't know because I think if I hadn't seen his Alpha or 5 designs, I would say, oh yeah, Bison's good. But I've seen Bison with a cape or with a trench coat so many times that I'm used to that. So it's weird seeing him in just a regular dictator outfit.
I'm fine with either. I prefer the cape, but if he doesn't have it, I'm fine with that too. The one game where it looks weird to me is like I think it's CVS,
Yes,
where he's like he looks slender.
yes, because he's the only Capcom guy that got a new. He's the only Street Fighter character who got a new sprite for that game. Because they didn't want to reuse his alpha sprite. They wanted to. They didn't want to use his alpha gameplay or his alpha sprite, so they made an entirely new version of his Street Fighter 2 sprite and moveset.
And he just looks so lanky.
He does. He does. It's really funny because he's otherwise one of the more muscular characters in the series, but in that game, he's like skin and bones.
Yeah. So that
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
It works well when you put him against Rugal, though, because they end up having very similar body types.
But yeah, that's the only Bison design that I actively dislike, and I can actually remember. I'm sure there are a couple of Street Fighter 4 and 5 extra costumes that I could bring up.
Oh boy. I mean, I think the hip hop Ryu outfits are fucking hilarious.
I wish we had hip hop Bison.
Oh my god, hip hop Bison would be the best. But they always give it to Ryu, which to me implies that Ryu is actually just a hip hop dude when he's on the streets.
I mean, who knows? Maybe.
I mean, like Akuma is like selling food on the side. We don't really like. That's the nice thing about Capcom is Capcom every now and then will just be like, oh yeah, this character does this on the side.
Yeah.
Remember all those like times they hinted that Wesker, the grand villain of Resident Evil, super perverted, real bad.
I don't remember that.
In Resident Evil 2, if you search his desk 50 times, you get a picture.
Oh,
of,
yeah. Now I remember.
And they went further than that in Resident Evil 0 when they did the HD remake. They added like a bonus game mode where you play as Rebecca and you have to like you have to either get followed around by Wesker and he's just a huge creeper towards her.
Oh.
What I don't know. I just kind of like that. Hell, I think the novelization of one of the Resident Evil games even had Wesker telling Chris, like, Chris, after I kill you, I'm going to take your sister out on a date, Chris.
I see.
I love classic Capcom villains.
Wesker goes back in time to have sex with his brother.
Oh no.
Carry his baby. That's
Oh,
that is legitimately the worst freaking piece of writing that I can that has been released in an official professional manner that I can think
oh.
of.
See, look, weird shit happens, man. Okay. Oh fuck! I don't know what they're thinking.
Anyway, Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2. You remember that part of Street Fighter 2 where like Chun Li bangs her brother?
But we have to state specifically goes back in time and then bangs her brother,
Yeah,
and then goes back to
because
the
her brother's
future.
a ghost now.
Yeah, and then goes back to the future and carries the child, who then becomes cursed.
Super cursed. And that's how we got Ed, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man. Ah, right. Now, what do you think is your favorite stage in Street Fighter 2?
I really like Ryu's castle. It's a classic and shit, and I also just like that type of architecture. But I'd also like I'd say my favorite is Chun Li's market stage with the guy choking the chicken.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he wants to do when he's watching a fight, but I guess choking a chicken works. Uh, Suzaku Castle is really good in Street Fighter 2. I'd have a hard time saying I guess I like it better in Street Fighter 2 than in Alpha. Alpha's Suzaku Castle is good though. I also really like Street Fighter 3 Suzaku Castle though, when you're actually fighting on the roof, like
Yeah, aren't you also fighting on the roof in 2?
yeah, but you're fighting on kind of like a raised platform, whereas in uh Third Strike you're actually fighting like on the roof,
I actually don't like that as much because it just I don't know doesn't look as
Yeah, I
good to
get you.
me.
I get you.
And the Ryu's other stage in freaking 3 is on Onsen with Menace.
I don't I don't know the one you're talking about.
There's a stage Ryu's stage before Suzaku Castle in 3 was a hot spring with people bathing, and in the first in the new challenge, was it the one? No, new challengers was 2, wasn't it? The new
New
generation.
Challenger
New
was super,
generation.
yeah.
Yeah, new generation. New generation. It was the whole hot spring with women on one side and men on the other, and there was Menace and also a
Ah,
bear. And then
the
in yeah
the menacing man ass.
yeah, and then there was also or rather after that in Second Impact they cut out the Menace
Yeah.
because yeah. And then I guess in Third Strike, because I don't actually remember where he was staged in Third Strike. I remember the actual stage, I just don't remember it being in Third Strike. But
Yeah.
I guess by then they were like, you know what, whatever, just got it all.
Oh, you know what one I'm oddly fond of, even though it's not like the most exciting stage in the world?
Yeah.
Ken's stage, just fighting in front of his yacht because he's
Oh yeah,
rich.
that's Ken's best stage to me still.
Yeah.
I also
I like that there's the creeper detective in the background that everybody always thinks is Q.
yeah, I was about to say, and I also like how Q's in the background.
Yep, even though Street Fighter 5 has now actually explained Q's story, so that's definitely not Q. Rip that theory. Ah well.
Q knows how to time travel.
Oh no. There's no way Bison's not got that as a fucking psycho power.
Yeah.
Psycho power is whatever you want it to be. That's why Athena's so stupid in King of Fighters.
Yeah,
That-
she she's more powerful the more you suffer.
yeah. Yeah, I love that because they did at one point in CVS2 say, "Oh yeah, the psycho power used by Bison is the same psycho power Athena uses," and then Street Fighter 5 is like, "Oh, psycho power is fueled by the world's suffering." So Athena is fueled by the world's suffering?
Yes, Athena is fueled by the suffering brought by Athena players.
Yeah. That's why she has such a shrill voice. The pain of hearing that voice empowers her.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. If there is anything that you think Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition is missing, what do you think it is?
That that's a good question because some of those things have been answered, and other things wouldn't really work without additions in later games. Because like I could say the parry system from Third Strike, but then you just have slightly less zoning.
Yeah.
I could just say speed, but there's hyper fighting, and
No.
and I also like I played Super Turbo to compare it to. I put Super Turbo up to Turbo 4. I think it was actually Turbo 3 game speed 4 in the settings to the collection, and that was like. I don't know how to describe it aptly, but basically it was like remember Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, played at like at twice the speed, and that's Super Turbo at speed 4. So like the thing is, movement wasn't affected that much. Movement was normal. Movement was fine. Freaking jumping was fine. Normals weren't. Normals were like 2 frames.
Yep, that's Turbo. That's one of many problems with Turbo.
So that
and Sagat being super OP, but you know.
And so that's why I play on Turbo 1. Because yeah.
No, go ahead.
Because at least you can actually see the normals happening.
Yeah. Boy, Sagat was broken all the way until Super Street Fighter 4, wasn't he?
Yeah. Maybe even a bit later.
I mean, I don't think it'll ever be as strong as it was back then. Thank you. Back in Street Fighter 2, old Sagat notoriously dominated every single tournament he was in. And Vanilla... Oh, hello, we got a fight going outside.
Nice.
Oh boy,
the cat's shooting tiger.
Yeah. Tiger shot, tiger shot, tiger shot. Oh. Meanwhile, I guess the dog would be using Terry moves, wouldn't he? Buster Wolf! Are you okay?
No, the dog would be using freaking Alford moves.
Doggy moves, right? What isn't the name dog? Isn't
no,
the dog's
it's
name
Poppy.
Doggy?
It's Poppy.
Poppy.
Yeah.
Oh, I always hear puppy, so I assume he's just calling the dog Puppy.
Yeah. I also get confused with that, but yeah, the dog is called Poppy. Or Pop. I can discern the two sounds.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, man. All right. If there is one balance change you think needs to be made to Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition to make it better. Blanca. Exactly.
Less Blanca.
Don't nerf him. Just take him out of the game.
No, just make him appear less. don't even take him out of the game. Just make it so he's a freaking rare encounter.
Make him into Reptile.
Yeah.
Look to the Luna. Oh, excuse me. Laughing and eating at the same time. That's very good for a podcast. We're professionals, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I also have a ton of background noise right now because there's papers getting shifted around in the room, and also a fan is on, but I'm not turning it off because it's so hot.
Oh yeah, the heat is crazy. You're not too far from. Well, you're down in the part of Europe where it fucking gets hot, so fucking sucks.
I don't know. I'm not in Italy yet.
No, but you're pretty close to Greece.
I guess.
There's only the Balkans separating you, and Oh,
Becoming
all right.
there's only the buckle separating me and becoming ice cream in the
Oh
sun.
no. We thought we were scared of the Turks, but we had a much bigger threat from on high. Ah. All right. Now, when you play Street Fighter 2, what part of the game do you walk away really enjoying the most and thinking like other fighting games should have more like that?
There's actually not a lot of those for me anymore, cause like to me, Street Fighter 2 is just the basic. It's what everything should be based upon.
Yeah, I guess everything already is based heavily on.
But yeah, everything is based upon it, but some things don't work out better than others.
More fighting games should have this. Oh, they've all got this. Never mind.
Yeah. But like whenever I play Street Fighter 2, or like any of the older Street Fighters, but especially Street Fighter 2, it's because I've been playing, I don't know, like a lot of Arxis games recently or something like that, and I just want to cool off. I want to have a slower game, and that's a valuable experience too. Freaking Azrugel says, "Evil is the spice of life, and there is nothing more evil than shimmies." So
That's why Rugal shimmies you before he genocide cutters you.
yeah,
Or excuse me, genocide cutter. God, I love Rugal.
yeah, me too. But
There's so many KOF characters I love. I popped in 14 yesterday because I just felt like playing it because I hadn't played in a while. I was just like, oh god, I love Geese Howard.
I had so much fun figuring out how the EX moves work. Have you figured those out yet?
No, it didn't help that one of Geese's supers in that game is just clearly a super version of the Rapukin.
Yeah, the EX, like to do EX moves, you actually need to turn on a separate EX bar that use one full bar of super for, and then you can do a couple of EX moves, and then it drains.
Okay, so all your specials are turned into EX moves while you're in EX
No,
mode.
you need to put them in with normal like Street Fighter EX inputs as well. So
Okay.
so like a Rapuken needs to be 2 punches instead of one, but but it only registers as EX if you have the mode on.
All right. It's good to know.
But I figured out some pretty freaking cool Rock Howard shit. And it's like it's very basic and very low level, but so am I, so
Ha! I need to just sit down and get used to KOF comboing one day, because I still can't get combos bigger than like 5 hits.
I didn't get used to KOF comboing. I was just like, you know what, KOF? I'm gonna figure out which moves bounce, and I'm gonna do juggle combos, and that's what I did.
I always remember the first time I got exposed to a modern KOF combo, when I was used to like 98, was seeing K-Dash not only bounce someone in the air repeatedly, but end it by hitting them with his sunglasses.
Yeah. But
I'm glad that I'm
yeah,
glad that NetherRealm recognized how cool that move is by giving it to Johnny.
NetherRealm, Johnny.
Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
It
I forgot Johnny Cage existed for a bit there.
Yeah. NetherRealm certainly doesn't.
No, they
But yeah,
don't. Yeah.
yeah, in MK11, Johnny can throw his sunglasses at people.
Ah.
All right. So, with Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, where was I going with this?
I don't know. You also didn't say what part of it you liked a lot when you walk away.
Oh, hmm.
You keep going through questions where only I answer, and we just keep moving on. And I'm not sure if I should speak up or.
Oh, shit. Let me go back and answer some. What do I think the game needs? I think that there's definitely some archetypes missing from the game in terms of characters. I think that like the characters that were added in Super were, of course, not like the greatest introductions. Because I would say, like, how do I always forget his name? The Bruce Lee ripoff.
Fei Long. I was going to say him before I remembered Vega.
So Fei Long does something different, but DJ and T Hawk are both like, wow, this sure is Guile, or wow, this sure is slightly different Zangief. But Cammy, I think, like, Cammy is the character who feels like she should have been there from the beginning.
Yeah, Cammy is a character where you retroactively add her into the first game, or like the first version of 2 in your mind.
Yes, I do that constantly, and it's a screw up for me. I think Cammy contributes something really unique. And while Fei Long is very unique and different from the others, Fei Long is also in a kind of weird place where he's kind of lacking personality. You know?
Yeah.
Hence why they keep introducing characters who aren't Fei Long, but play very similar to Fei Long in the following Street Fighter games, you know? And the other thing was, if there was anything that I think could be removed from the game to benefit it. Okay, I got 2 things. The first one, Dhalsim's fucking stage. It looks fine, but the elephants constantly going off in the background
Oh,
kill
yeah.
my ears. I hate the elephants. The second thing
I liked it in HD remix when it was just it was a static image and they didn't make sounds.
Ha!
It was just the music and fighting Dhalsim.
Ha! Awesome. The other thing is, I know we just were talking about how much we love KOF. I still don't like context-based throws. I prefer having actual throw buttons, you know?
I prefer having like freaking modern throw buttons. Definitely not Alpha 3.
Ha!
If I have to choose between Alpha 3 throws and context throws, I'll take context throws any day of the week because context throws I can freaking figure out how to do on wake up. But not that shit.
Yeah. It's an unusual button combination unless you play King in Tekken.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit your natural fighting game impulse of, you know, either context-based throws or light punch plus light kick equals throw, you know?
Yeah.
So, with Champion Edition, what's one space in the game where you think the Street Fighter series regressed? Like, got worse over time after this game?
Some of the characters.
Huh!
T-Hawk, Fei Long, Rufus.
Yeah.
I, I wanted to kill El Fuerte, La Muerte for a sec there.
El Fuerte would be a lot cooler if he was La Muerte.
Yeah.
Instead of being a cooking... Could you imagine if instead of a cooking-themed luchador, we got a Grim Reaper-themed luchador?
That's on a zombie.
A zombie luchador. Oh, that's good.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we both got characters we love that came after this game, but the worst character designs in Street Fighter 2 are probably Claw and Blanca, and neither of them are really that terrible.
Yeah. I mean, technically there's the original DJ design, but never made it into the game, so it's not as bad.
We don't even know what it looks like, so I it was forbidden like in a Lovecraftian abomination.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Ark of the Covenant. If we looked upon it, our face would melt and our eyes would light on fire.
I'm just imagining that there's like one part of the internet that we haven't found yet, where it's like people are acting like that picture of DJ is God, and they're like this is what the forbidden DJ picture looks like. It's all this tradition of freaking that.
Oh no, like how in every Lovecraft book, there's always a cult that worships Cthulhu.
Yeah.
It's the apocalypse cult of DJ. Oh boy.
one day the original design for DJ will come back and then the world will end.
Oh no! It will rise over the horizon. Oh, Jesus.
It will appear in the sky.
Like the fucking bat signal.
Yeah.
It signals that we need D. James back.
It will just be there 24/7. It will be very clear no matter where you are.
It somehow appears everywhere in the world.
Yeah, at the same time.
It's like God retextured the skybox.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's either that or it comes down like the moon from Majora's Mask.
That could work too. Yeah. You need to play DJ's theme on an ocarina to go back in time.
Oh no.
But you also need to do maracas while you do that.
Yeah. You have to do it, or alternatively, just stick your hands down your pants. That works.
I suppose.
God, I know that it's DJ's thing with Capcom for some reason, but God, every time he does it, I'm like, is he touching his dick? Does DJ celebrate him kicking his opponent's ass by touching his dick?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a good fight. Ooh. Anyways, on a less cursed note, how do we get less cursed from there?
I don't know. Not even worthy. Well, how does Street Fighter regressed? Let's see.
I mean, like, Alpha and 3 both mostly just built on and improved Street Fighter 2, honestly.
Yeah, it's after 3 that things started going downhill, arguably.
Yeah, the decline started with 4, and then it just kind of turned into a sharp cliff.
Yeah.
I still like 5, by all means, but 5 is a flawed game. It's the funny thing, there are some franchises... Civilization, Civ 5 came out. Civilization 5 came out, and everybody was like, oh, this game's shit. So much worse than Civ 4. Then Civilization 6 came out, and everyone was like, you know what? Civilization 5 is great. Street Fighter's got the same thing. When Street Fighter 4 was out, everybody was like, oh, man, this game's not as good as Street Fighter 3. What the fuck were they thinking? And Street Fighter 5 comes out, and everybody's like, you know what? Street Fighter 4 was great.
Yeah. Because the follow-up underperforming so much highlights the high parts of the prequel.
Yes. I mean, really, the problem that 4 has is just the fact... Well, for one thing, like, some of the character models are a bit ugly. But also just that Street Fighter 4's main aim was to be Super Turbo again, and Super Turbo was overrated. With that said, we should probably do a fighting games are on Super Turbo someday.
Yeah.
Just as an excuse so the two of us can actually sit down and put more time in with it and see what the hullabaloo is about,
Yeah.
And we can really see those 2-frame jabs.
I mean, as long as you turn it down to a reasonable speed, then it won't be 2 frames.
Yeah.
It's just when you set it up to freaking Turbo 4.
Oh boy. Alright then. So, Addy, which would you rather play for the next 2 weeks? Guilty Gear XX, Accent Core, Reload, something else, plus, or hashtag, or KOF 14. Which sounds more appealing to you at the moment?
Well, since you said or between Guilty Gear and hashtag, I'm gonna say hashtag, but...
Oh no. Well, come back next week when we say fighting games are hashtag, and we just try to figure out how to play Twitter as a fighting game.
Oh, we don't need to figure it out. It's already up. We just need to look at the current meta and all the Discord tech.
I'm just gonna go pick a fight with Cliff Blazinski. See you guys later.